Hello everyone and welcome back to NeoBurgh. So, true to my word, we are going to try and be focusing on reducing these costs that we have built up over the recent couple of episodes. So, without further ado, I think it's best if we did try and do something about this one here. So this one that's in Hailsham. We're losing a fair bit of money on it, and it's tricky because we don't actually know what's moving through the different lines as it is. We don't have too much information on that sort of thing, so it would be quite helpful if we could reduce that down so that we could find out. So with that in mind, I think it would be worthwhile us putting in a couple of new lines to try and discern which one's which. So we're going to do one through, which will be for oil, so tank cars, and those will go to these different stops and then back up to here. So we can work out what's actually needed here. So with that in mind, this one's now set up. I just want to double check down here. This one's gone to number 7. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we can use number 6 as a bonus. If we actually had some money, we could try and work on putting in a second line through so that it allowed trains through a little bit quicker. Almost them sharing the middle lane would probably be the best bet. But we can't do that just yet because we are currently 100 and something million. Oh, that's just bounced up to 200 million. 200 million in the hole. So with that in mind, we need to swap these over. So the tank car trains are going to go onto that new line that we just made. So things will change a little bit here. That's absolutely fine. So we just need to take the name of this one. And this will now be Cargo Rail Gondola. Down at Hailsham Horn. I don't know what number that would be. So then if we go into this line, we can call this one Tank Car. Again, I don't know what number that would be. It's probably a case of we have too many tank cars. If you look, we've got quite a few here, which may be why we're having some troubles here, because we've got so many trains trying to go through. They simply can't do the entire route. We could also potentially look at changing things up around here. So if we maybe had somehow a circular route that trains could go both one direction and the other way, that may help, because, for example, from over here it could take oil over to the plastic factory, and from here it could take oil down. But I don't know how we would necessarily loop all this in. It'd be quite a tricky one to work into a circular route. So the good news is that we do have one available exit here, although the trains do go right underneath there. I don't know whether we could possibly go over the top of these. Maybe? No, it doesn't quite allow us to rise up quickly enough. we would have to go off at that sort of route. And then to turn would be quite a big change in direction as well. So it's a little bit of a tricky one. I've been thinking about this line as well. It may be worthwhile connecting this directly to the line down here, because then hopefully it will reduce how much sort of logs have to come up and planks have to go back. So that could be a way to reduce that down. However, again, we have not much money to work, well, no money to work with, only debt. So we need to work out where our money's going each year. It looks like a couple of the circular lines are costing us a fair bit. On top of that, we've got this one. Gondola at Hailsham. Well, we've just made changes to that, so I'm going to wait and see what happens there. We've got the flat car at Hailsham as well, making not that much money. It's tricky because these ones up here have a lot of different things connected to them, so it's more a case of I mean, maybe what we could do down here is have another one of these sort of midway train stations connected up to these different resources, and then that way it would allow us to interlink everything together. That could be one solution. Again, we don't have any money to do that with, so it's a bit tricky. But I'm sure that we could work something out in time. It's just a case of right now we've got not much to work with. That makes it a bit tricky to try and save money. We are earning a fair amount of money, so that's positive. It looks like potentially some of the changes that we're making are having an effect. So it's something that we've got to keep an eye on. We've got this Dover line as well that's not making that much money. Interestingly though, because I would have thought that would maybe make a fair amount of money. What I would really be tempted to do if we had just a little bit of money is to swap it over to this one. So have everything come up on the Bawtry line and then move the cargo road lines over to up here, because that way we could have these connect into the interlinking train lines as well. Hopefully that would allow us to reduce how much is going on these, because these are actually empty, which is shocking when Dover actually needs another 150 odd fuel. So yeah, there's things that we could do in the future. Right now, we don't have much to play with, which is tricky because it's difficult when I'm trying to reduce costs and I can't actually make any sort of changes that I'd like to. I think with this one, it might be worth potentially selling a couple of these trains that are duplicated up. Ah, no, I sold the wrong one there. Oh, bugger. Never mind. Let's sell that one. And the bricks will just have to wait. Unfortunately, they're not going to make their way up there. Excuse me for the time being. I'm sorry I'm a little bit sniffly. It's pretty hay fever at the moment. Although I don't know, because I don't normally suffer from hay fever, so I think I'm just a little bit under the weather. So I'm sorry if that's annoying you at all. It's annoying me a great deal more. These lines sometimes struggle to break even. Potentially what we could do is take a look at the ones that are empty. That one, for example, is hardly moving anything. So if we sort them by vehicles, we've got the tank car, then the box cars down here. How full are the box cars? Not very. Not very at all. I'll get rid of that one. How about these? Not really. Again. These ones are pretty empty. That being said, at this side of things, no. At the other side of things, there is a fair amount of stuff that needs to go that way, like bricks and what have you. So I'm tempted not to remove one of those. We've also got, well, it's mostly, yeah, logs and bricks that are trying to make their way that way. So we could get rid of maybe one of these tank cars that don't seem to be doing anything anymore. We'll take it from there, I think. I mean, this one's pretty empty as well. So we'll let that roll in. We've actually broken the back of the money issues. There's only 50 on there. Where's this one? On the other end. It's quite shocking, really, when you know, a lot of this stuff needs to be shifted. Right, we have a little bit of money, so while we've got that, would we be able to make any changes on this side that could actually make a meaningful impact? So I think that we should make use of this sawmill up here, especially considering we've got the two forests nearby, and we've already got a road route there pretty much set up, so that way we can actually take back planks rather than logs. So with that in mind, we just need to alter the road slightly. So if we build this in here, maybe we could have this connect in that way. And then it would probably be best to have it continue up this way. See what we can do here. So we're going to exit a couple of cargoes and remove that one. Then we can connect this into... Oh wow, that's quite a slope. This into here. That into there. We can put an exit that way. So what we want is for it to pick up from here, take it up that way, come down here. So, I mean, we don't need this road to be trailing through this way. It's a bit of a weird road. I don't know why it created it when we've already got one going this way. Excuse me. So if we take a look at this line, we've got this one on number 1, this one on number 3. Maybe it'd be best if we just remake this line altogether. So from here, it goes up to this one, and then it comes down here, to which it goes back up, and then it drops them off on the way through. Quite a simple little line that should hopefully be quite effective. Down here, we want it to be going to number 1 and number 2. We want them to be filling up. Then they're dropping off. They're coming down here. They'll be going to number 1 and then number 2. They'll be filling up. And then up here, they'll go to number 1 and number 2. Drop off, fill up. And then down here, drop off. So hopefully that should have quite a positive impact. What we may need to do is put in possibly a couple of different lines. So what we could do is, I mean, how effective are these being at getting them to where they need to go, or is it more a case of they're going everywhere else? Yeah, they're going everywhere else. So they are getting to the Tring facility, but then they're trying to send things to other ones. And realistically speaking, we just need it to go to the Tring one, really. It's the nearest one, so it makes sense for them to be dropping corn off there. What we could do is potentially use this area down here as the main point as such for a through line, and then like I said, we can hook it up here and then have a circular line rather than a line just going backwards and forwards as such. We could also do a pass through, which might be a little bit cheaper than making all the changes, just for the oil line here. So if we were to do that, it would look like I mean, we've got another oil up here, so I don't know why we wouldn't make use of that, because we could do a line backwards and forwards here. If we did have a centralized hub, we could then also do a grain line backwards and forwards here for the Tring facility, and then just do boxcars down to here. That would be better, but at the moment we don't really have the facilities, the money to do it. which is a bit of a pain. It looks like the Tring line is extremely busy, and that may be having an effect on everything else. We don't really have the money to get more trains on the Tring line for now, so it might be worthwhile us just keeping an eye on that. So if we had like a centralized sort of hub here, we could then, in theory, we could even set up a line down this way to connect through to these, and the train line could pick up logs, drop them off, pick up more logs, drop them off, and pick up the planks and bring them straight through. That does seem a lot better than what we've got at the moment. It's just a case of we can't currently do that. If I wanted to replace this, because none of the lines actually use the through line now, it would actually make more sense to have two lines going through. So two going one way and two going the other way. If I wanted to replace that, it would cost at least about 4 million, probably more. After all said and done, 3.4 there. So we might have the money to be able to put it in, but it's dangerously close to not being enough money. I'm very conscious that we're not really making much money. It's more a case of we've sold a few things, which has just nudged us over the edge of the debt. So we really need to focus on trying to remove anything more that may be costing us. It does say that this one's costing us money. Which is interesting because that one's actually just going down this way. Oh, I should probably make sure that these are dropping off where they're meant to be. So unload that, load that, and then down here only unload the planks, because otherwise they may try and unload the logs, which would cost us more. We've had a bit more money come in. 38 million, is that enough to do it? Oh, I don't know. It's very tricky to say. Would we be able to build this out in this direction? At what point does it no longer go through these other ones? I think we just need to go up as high as possible. Like this, and then hopefully at some point it should, yeah, like there, avoid the tunnel that's going underneath down to the forest down here. So we've now got a line that comes out that way, so we could probably put in the connection that we spoke of. Which is very tempting, because in honesty, I think it would help a great deal to have things going both directions. Let's face it, a lot of the stuff is coming down to here, but for example, the crude oil from here could go up over to here, without having to go through if we had it set up in such a way. We also have a lot of crude oil from here just going straight into this one. And that could be reduced by having it go the other direction. I mean, we've even got a flyover straight up to there. So that could be a good way around it. But then if we drop it off there, it could just go onto the train line here, which is a bit of a problem. So if we were going to give this a try, it wouldn't make sense to remove what we've already got. And to be honest with you, we could probably divert that rail line down here quite easily. So we would need a bridge over from this one. That would go in this direction. Can we alter this train station at all to... yeah, we can. We totally can. How many lines do we need? So we'd need one to go that way, one that goes off that way, and maybe one that goes off that direction. And then we could have a separate line here that just deals with the grain. So actually, we'd be able to probably do it with what we've got here. Maybe if we put in another line on this side, it may help. Let's try that. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's do it. I'm sure that we've got enough money here, 34 million. We should be able to do this. It's whether we can do everything else that matters. That's going to be the tricky bit. But we can try. So we're going to take this out. As it stands at the moment, we might even have to remove this bit of road here. So if we just give this a try, bringing it down this way, it fits through, that's good. Same with this one, we'll need to build these up. I should have done this from the start, really. Still, it's all set up now, ready to go. I wish there was a way to just fill these. Like if you do the two ends, say like this, if you did this end, you could just fill in between. Like Microsoft Paint, when you pick up the bucket and just allow it to do what's needed. Right, so we've now got potentially what we need here. So if we just add a cargo building on this side, maybe a few of them. There we go. we can do the same on this side. Probably best to offset it a little bit because I don't think they're going to fit otherwise. Have a couple of buildings down this side as well. There we go. So we can just put a little road here just to connect them up. It's completely pointless, but just makes it look a little bit more realistic then. Do the same on this side. So we will be making a fair amount of change to this. I wonder whether it might be best to try and build it into what's already there, so to speak. Just so then it kind of saves a little bit of money then. Right, okay, so we've built that down this way. I think to begin with it might be best just to try and almost replace what we've had, so that then hopefully we can put everything back, build it in sort of slowly but surely. So the loop is ready now, somewhat. I mean, it'd probably be best if we did remove the curve when it's ready. So we need to put in a line down here for the food factory here. So it's best if we get this ready. That being said, the money has exited our accounts now. So we have none. It's in time to what it's like. Just never having money. So these are still connected. This line should be effectively still going around. Looks like maybe they're taking logs up. It's just going to take some time for these to fill up. have, however, even though we've been spending a little bit on infrastructure, we have broken even that year, so that's positive. Hopefully we'll do more of the same this year, but we just need to keep an eye on things. It might be worth checking the boats, actually. So this line, what is this line? Going from here to there and back again. Yeah, that one's gonna be pretty much superseded by trains, so just get rid of it. Ever since we put the train line in that way, it's probably not made money, so this one's pretty similar. The only problem is this one kind of does a few different things. For example, it does connect these two together. But it's also coming up for tools, and there are not going to be any more tools. So we could reduce the line down so that it doesn't do that anymore. It's probably easiest just to remove the dock more than anything. So number one, Shildon Port is no longer needed. Down here, what were you doing? Picking up and dropping off. Yeah, this one might start to make a little bit because it's got to deliver stuff to Loughton. However, I don't know whether that will be necessarily the case. What else do we have on these ones? This one? Struggling to make money, probably because all the other trains take things elsewhere. So if we find one of these that are empty, like that one, we'll let it drop off its stuff. Oh, it's actually going back. Yeah, just reduce this line down a little bit. Has this ship actually done anything? It has in the past, but it's probably going elsewhere, so try and get that to drop off, and then we can sell it once it's dropped off with all of its stuff. Not that 13 bricks and 44 stone really matter at this point in time. There we go, that'll do. We'll reduce that line down to hopefully reduce the expenses that are coming out from this. Let's just cut this line down a little bit. And then we're back to these trains that struggle to make money up here. So we've got quite a few trains on this line, so hopefully we can just split the line in half and have it go both directions. That is my hope and plan, at least. I don't know whether it will necessarily work. While we've got a little bit of money, 41 million, I think it would be best to try and get this operational. So if we put some stops along the way, this is going to be quite a steep hill for trains, so I'll put a couple of stops there. We'll then put in some stops through down to the station down here, and probably to about that point where we would then need to have things divert through. In fact, that's not a bad idea actually. While we've got this all set up, it may be a good idea to have these almost go a slightly different way. So if we have this connect into, say, this station, but then again I mean, that would work. That would absolutely work. So let's break this off, put it into there. For some reason this is not connecting. Now it does. Don't know what happened there, but that's fine. That actually provides a much more clear route through for the other trains. Because we can use this side for picking up this. We could even possibly have the boxcar line going backwards and forwards here. Using the tunnel that we've already put in. So like I said before, if we're going to put in a train line here for the grain, it's best to prepare it. So we'll need to put in another stop like so. And then we'll be putting in a train station here and a train station up this way. So we might as well just go ahead and do that actually. I don't think it's going to be 320 meters. So I'm just going to reduce it down just to try and save a bit of money. Because money is scarce at the moment. Put in a connection there, and then that would be connected to that one. This one up here would be probably putting it right where this road depot is, so it's a bit of a shame. I don't necessarily want to completely remove it. So if we start to work on this line, so we would have one line here going through this way, down to here, and then up, back. Then we would have one line going the opposite direction, through, and up to here. Weirdly, one of them actually connects. Must be the one going through that way. Let's just alter this slightly. So that we can put this in without affecting what's currently running. And we can do that quite easily actually, because we can do a rail line here that then connects through to the other direction. Just like that. And then we just connect this in. Nice and simple. So these ones would be going in this direction. These ones would be going in this direction, and these ones would be going in this direction. We might as well have it as a double slip switch, so then if stuff needs to come through, it can. But that's actually pretty much set up now. Actually, let's do it where this line splits is probably the best place. If my camera will allow me to just put a stop here, that would be great. It's not liking it. I'll have to put one there. So now we have those lines going through. Over here, let's go on to number 6. And then that's working as it needs to. Okay. How about that other line that we put in, line 1? How's that doing? It would need to go to number 5, and then it can go through without an issue. Ah, it's working. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It should work, I should say. So we would need boxcar and flat. We don't need boxcar up here. We only need it here. That's interesting. We need it here, here, and here. Whereas the flat car would be needed here, 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 and here. Let's just try naming this. So it would be the cargo rail it's the Hailsham Horn, isn't it? Let's call it we'll call it the circular line. think it's probably best to call it the Hailsham Horn circular, actually. And this one's going counterclockwise. So then the other one will be going clockwise. There we go. Maybe this will make a big difference. Maybe it will make no difference. We just have to wait and see. So this boxcar that goes through that way would be moving on to the Hailsham Horn line, or the circular line, I should say. So if we put that on the Hailsham Horn circular clockwise line, hopefully that train can get to there. But we can now get rid of this line. Which will be quite nice. We've got the coal and ore line. Is this one? Oh, that's just between there and there. That's fine. Right, flat car line is going to be a little bit trickier. So we've got 3 on each. So we've put those ones on the clockwise, these ones on the counterclockwise. Hopefully these trains can get to where they need to. It's not going to be easy to get them to go onto the right sort of side. So it's something that we need to keep an eye on. Might be easier if I just did this. So yeah, ignore that one. We're looking at just rail here. That one's fine. This one up there, down there, yeah. This one needs to change. In fact, why is it stopping there? That's an oversight that we should have sorted out sooner. Never mind. So the gondola ones would need to go onto these lines. So if we put 2 on the clockwise and we'll put 1 on the counterclockwise, and then we'll add another one on with time, we can get rid of the one that exists currently. That leaves us with the tank car line. Okay, there's quite a few vehicles on this one. We'll put 2 on the clockwise, 3 on the counterclockwise, and then that's all of these done. Hopefully those trains can work themselves out and get to where they need to go. Effectively, we've got a loop here, so they should be able to, one way or the other, get to where they need to go. And then hopefully that line should be a bit more effective at what we need. In fact, we have ones coming up to the circular one now, here. And they're making their way through, so that's good. Hopefully it's all set up the way that we need it to. And hopefully this should run a little bit smoother now. Hopefully, at least. While we've got some money, actually, it's sort of more of a band-aid on the situation. But let's try putting in a crossover here, and then hopefully, why is it all colliding? This is where the other split is, isn't it? Here we go. So if we did the same down here, put in crossover, and then we just need to change the signals really. Then these ones can use that middle one at Hailsham Interlink, number 6, and so can these other trains. Hailsham Interlink use number 6. May not even be needed. You never know, this might run so smoothly now. It might not be required. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see how things go. One thing's for sure, we will need both boxcars and the what's it called? I can't think of the name. Gondolas to go that way. So while we're here, let's just make a few tweaks. This would need to be a crossover. Once autosave finishes, there we go. Right, so if we try that from a little bit further back, we may be able to slot that in quite nicely. So we'll just copy the other stops, and then down here if we actually we can just connect this up to that one and do a crossover. We'll take out that stop if the trees allow it, and then we can put in a stop this way here. There we go. That's all sorted. We'll reuse this station because ultimately it would be for the oil line anyway. So that would go up to here. I don't know whether a train would be able to go up quite so far. What is the height difference here? If we check. So from here it is 58 meters. Up here it's 121 meters. So it needs to climb about 60 meters, which is not going to be easy. Almost said not going to be tricky. Like, of course it's going to be tricky. While we're here, maybe we could put this other station on this side. That is very high compared to the other station. I don't know whether that's going to go in or not. No, no, no it won't. Well, the good news is we don't actually have any more trains coming this way as such. So we could make changes here if we really wanted to. I kind of want to, so I think we will. So if we put in a building here, let's just try and connect these. I don't think they will though. That'll work. And then hopefully the only issue between these is collision. It looks like that is the case. So if we remove this bit out, and then maybe just remove this road for the time being at least. Hey presto. We have a gondola line all set up. We've got to try and connect this one in, so that's going to be a little bit trickier. In fact, it wasn't a problem at all. Ah, that's good. That should serve as a crossover, so then hopefully we can have things come down this way. Possibly. So in theory that should allow the trains through. So that's this one sorted out. So this would just be a little line backwards and forwards between these two. Nice and simple, really. There we go. So that line, this one would need to go to number 3 instead, and then it's all sorted. Up here, we want you to go to number 1. Use number 2 if you have to. We also would like you to fill up on grain, and then drop it off. The grain. Up here, use number 1, go to number 2, fill, oh, what? Oh, we haven't done a crossover? Okay, we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out. Don't worry about that. So we want that to fill up. We want it to unload down here. Oh, we put the stop in the wrong place. There we go. So that should now be sorted. It actually means that we can get rid of this line, which is kind of welcomed. Not that we hate that line, just that it'll be a lot better as a train line than anything. Okay, so we can put in a small gondola line backwards and forwards. In fact, this would just be the no, number 4, not number 2, sorry. This would just be the line going backwards and forwards here. So that would use number 2 actually, yes, and then number 1 would be the other one. So basically what we want this line to do over here is fill up on grain and unload food. Over here we want it to unload grain and fill up on food, and that's all that line needs to do really. Might be possible for us to buy a cheap gondola train. Maybe let it play through for a couple of minutes. There we go. And in fact, we need 2 of these. So what we'll do is we'll put the first one onto line number 1. So then that can start bringing grain through. Ah, we have a slight problem with this line, in that we've removed the actual thing. That's fine. We just replaced it with a train, so we'll just remove it. It's no longer needed. So we'll remove that. We'll remove this. And then that sorts all of that side out. We just sold about 20 dump trucks, so we got enough for maybe like $1 million. If we're lucky, considering they were quite old. Looks like trains are slowly making their way through. Although admittedly I don't know why, because to be honest with you, they should be running through quite smoothly. They've got this middle lane to share, and they are, which is good to see. Oh, what's this train doing? It's trying to get to this one. Well, it should be able to go through and get to there. So that's alright. All the coal wants to go one direction, and the oil wants to go the other direction. is this not using the middle lane? Oh, because it's on the wrong side. I see. So this one's trying to get to here. Presumably to go the other direction. So maybe the trains are just filtering through to try and get onto their correct side of the track. While we've got a little bit of money, let's get another one of those gondola trains, and we'll also get a boxcar train. Put it onto line 2, I'm guessing it is. Yeah, we just need to rename that. Then hopefully these lines will be set up. Cargo, rail. Let's just change that. Gondola. In fact, it's just grain. Grain. Number something in. Let's call it Tring because it's right next door to Tring. And then we've got this one, which is cargo, rail. Number something at Tring. So we're almost set up here. It'd be nice if we could set up this plank and log line to use the trains as well. Although I doubt I don't know whether we'll be able to. We don't have enough money for that, that's fine. Ironically, it's going the other direction. The one that we have set up to pick up the plastic is going in the wrong direction. It should really be going... Well, I suppose it's correct for one of them and wrong for the other, so never mind. This currently won't be sending anything, which is a bit of a shame. I just wonder whether we'll be able to put a train station in up here. I don't think we will. Which again is a bit of a shame. We could actually do a train station this way, which would be quite good. But we've got one here anyway. Might as well use it. Other than it's a little bit over. It's a bit more complicated than it needs to be. Looks like we've got a lot of oil to go the other way. Again, this is trying to get on the other side. So I don't know how it's going to. I suppose here, actually, is a good spot for it. Oh. Right, what's the problem? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's this train doing? This one is on the right line. It just needs to turn round. Ah, it's a bit too long. I see the problem now. Okay, well, I suppose we could just sell one of the things for the time being, and then hopefully that should be enough to turn it round. Probably going to have the same problem with this one. So before we have that, I'm going to just remove one of these. Can we not have this go into the station? Can we get this one on the right side of the track? Because at the moment it's stopping everything else from getting to where it needs to go. So I'd appreciate if this one goes in, and it's making its way in there. And then where's the other train for that one? It's already on the right side of the track, so that's good. We don't need to remove one of its flat car side stakes to get it into the right side. It already is. Although this is still too long. For goodness sakes. Did I take it off the wrong one? No, I just didn't take it off it. There we go. So that should now run pretty well, hopefully. Through this area, because we've effectively split out the... before, it would only be able to take stuff back one way, whereas now it can go both ways. While we're here, and we have a little bit of money, I think what I might just do is just change this over. Like I said, having a train go this way will hopefully link in a little bit better. It might need to be a bit of a bigger station actually, because tank cars are a bit bigger than gondola cars. What we can do here is, if we take this bit out, we can actually make this go down here flat, and then we have an area for it to actually put in the train stop as such, or the train station, I should say. It's not train stop. What am I on about? Right, so now that can connect in there. Hopefully we can put a train line in here. If not, then we're going to have to try and get a bit inventive, because I haven't come this far to be denied by a train not being able to go up the little hill. It's impressive we actually still have a train going down this way. Although this one's to connect in here. Yeah, it's to use that. So I don't know why it didn't go the other way. It could have come down here. Maybe if we make that non-one way, they'll start to use that. Because we'll probably be removing this at some point. The grain one did. The grain train used it. Hopefully it fits in these smaller stations. without an issue. Otherwise, it might be a bit of an issue. Right, that's the absolute highest that it can go up. So we might have to have this wiggle around like we did over here with the train lines. To try and get that one in. On the other side, yeah, it's not really an issue. This is a bit weird, but that hopefully will be going. So it shouldn't be an issue to connect that side in. I forgot that we left that turned off. So all these trains would have been waiting for it to go, and it hasn't. However, we are making money, which is good. It's a welcome change to what we've been putting up with up till now. So that's very good. Hopefully these grain trains will start to, they do fit, which is the main thing. We'll start to move grain to this food processing plant. Grain just needs to get here, which shouldn't be too difficult now that we've started these trains up again. I would imagine that there's going to be grain here. There we go, grain there. It may be time to remove this line through. Why do all the others not cost any money, but that does? There we go. Maybe it's because it's got to move the road or something. We'll go with that. It looks like this is getting up to level 2 shortly, hopefully, once we start to see planks delivered to where they need to go. We've got about 200 here that need to go to somewhere, so hopefully these flat car trains can get to where they need to go. sooner rather than later. Right, well, I've got a little bit of money. Let's go with this. There we go. Made no difference to the road, so I don't know why it would cost us anything. What we really need to do is put in a train station up here, so let's bite the bullet and try it. I think what we may do is do similar to what we did on the other side and put this in as far as possible. So, will this connect in? No. I'm not too surprised because this is as high it can go here. So we'll have to work something out, I think. And that will most probably be us going around in circles, which I hate to do, but it works. There we go. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. Right. Let's do a little crossover there. On the other side, we haven't got it set up. We should be able to hit play and not have to worry too much. He says, instantly regretting it. It's almost like the game is listening out for, oh, I should be fine, or it should be fine if we do X, Y, and Z, and then it just like laughs at you. So while we're waiting for a little bit of money to come in, like that. We can get rid of these now. That line is not needed. But we do need a way through for the trains that need to get onto that line. Would this work? Yes. tasks, hopefully. Yeah, that might work. There we go. So we should be able to do a line from here down and through, and then one back. So we want that to use number 1 and number 2 and fill up. Down here, that's absolutely fine. Over here, use number 1 and number 2 and fill up. And then, yeah, that line's done. Just need to get some trains on that line now. So we would need maybe a couple of these Series 246s. Maybe even just a really long, like if we used a BR maybe, because it does have to go up some hills. Maybe something like that. That being said, we've just our money has left us once again. So that is more or less what we would need. I'll just name this while we're waiting. Cargo, rail, crude, oil, number something up at Tring, cargo, there we go. Right, while we have a little bit of money, hopefully this saved it. No, it didn't, of course it didn't. Why would it? There we go. So we may need more than one, but we'll see. The only thing left to do would be this train line up here. So we could do a pass through here. Then that way we would have 2 stops here that we could use going through. 2 stops on the other side. And bank balance willing, we should be able to put this in. Right, there we go. Over here we would need a train station. Most probably this side. That is quite a hill. So we might have to find an inventive way to get the trains up there. put it on the other side. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure actually. So basically we would have these going in one direction, coming down through, and then dropping off, and then coming down to here. And then from there they would be going back down to here with the planks after they've picked up from here and dropped off and what have you. Make them go around in a big circle here, so that would hopefully take up a bit of space. Too much curvature. Right, while we've got a fair amount of money, I'm going to try and put this in. So let's just get rid of these. They're no longer needed, or hopefully won't be needed anymore. While I'm at it, this hopefully won't be needed. So we'll have a two-way, this one will go in down here. That's absolutely fine. Then these will need to come back around. Where these will actually need to go up. Hopefully that will work. No. Okay, what can we do to make this work? That works. works, apparently. That's all we needed to do. Oh, no, actually these don't merge, do they? Let's just take out that little snippet there. Did I do that on the wrong side? I did, didn't I? So this one needs to come down this way. Those need to go back. And then hopefully this line will work. Have I done that the wrong side? I have done that the wrong side, haven't I? Whoops. Yeah, it needs to be this way round. So I need to remove all of those. Ah, that's going to be a pain in the tunnel. Cool. Okay. Do we put this back in? I can't remember. Alright, let's just make sure these go through the right way. So there we go. Up here. should be set up the way that we need it. What I'm gonna do is sneeze. Bless me. I'm gonna set this up so that it just does it one way. So we want that to go to number 1, and it can use number 2 if it has to. We want it to fully load up on logs up here. It will be dropping off logs and picking up planks. Down here, it will use number 8 and number 7. It will unload planks, and then down here, we'll use number 1 or number 2, load up on logs, and then this one is literally just going to unload logs. So that's going to be our cargo rail plank and log line, number something up by Tring. Plank and logs, planks and logs. So we need some vehicles to go on that one. In fact, are we going to be able to put them on that way? I don't think we will, actually. Okay, maybe we just put in a depot here then. I think we're going to need a few of these, so I'll put 3 on this line. That should make full use of the spare lane as well. Oh, bless me. I do apologise. Right, so that should be everything in now. We have trains on this one, don't we? Yep. They are making their way through. So these trains are slowly making their way onto the track. We've turned things around really, because we were losing quite a bit of money beforehand, and now, well, we're not, which is good. It's always a good thing when you're not losing money anymore. Might just connect these up so that they look relatively normal. Or at least I would, if money allowed it. Why is that 202,000? That's a lot of money for a simple road like that. Looks like trains are actually making their way through here now, which is good because it means that we don't have to necessarily make a change here to make it work. This Tring line is very busy. Probably need one of each really to... In fact, what's mostly here? Logs? Steel logs? Steel planks? It's mostly the flat car things. But we don't have the money to put one of those on there, so it's gonna have to wait. It's good to see that these are starting to change up a little bit. We may not need quite so many vehicles on this line as it is going the other way. It really depends. Where are our vehicles here? They're waiting to fill up, I see. Well, while that one waits, you go straight through. Oops, there we go. And actually, we can remove these. There we go. So that should allow this one to come in. This one's still waiting to fill up, which is absolutely fine because this will be needing quite a bit of logs to get going. Do we have enough money to put one of these on that? No. It's all just gone. Why does it always do this to me? It teases me with a little bit of money and then it's like, nope, you don't have that. This needs to go up in level before it will actually start to make money there. This seems to be working though. It's going around, fitting in. Why is it taking 163 up? Oh no, it's coming back with 163. Okay, that's fine. I'll let it off then. So it'd be interesting to see how that splits. Because in my eyes it should only go the other way really. To the oil refineries, but it may also go elsewhere in the map. Yeah, it looks like that's what's happened. It's all gone on the clockwise line. Which one was it that we had to remove some of these on? Let's add them back on now. All of those are going, which is good. Well, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think our mission is accomplished here, and we are actually starting to make it. Wow, why is that one so close behind to this one? That's pretty crazy. I don't know whether I want two trains quite so close, because they're not actually gonna pick anything up. Maybe I'll just sell that one. But yeah, same with this one. This is coming through empty. So let's just sell that. We don't want them to be too close to each other. Actually, a lot of this is getting to where it needs to go now, which is good. Hopefully, we shall see these start to make more headway. Let's just buy another one of those while we can, because it is needed. Or at least it seems like it's needed. But yeah, we are actually making some headway with getting our money back and getting things to where they need to go. So that's quite positive. Does the other direction have more gondola? No. Okay. Maybe we could get another gondola train. Because there's a lot of coal here that needs to get to where it needs to go. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think we're done with this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think with your thumbs. If your thumbs don't cut it and you want to leave me a comment, then you know where that little comment area is. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've kind of enjoyed sort of going from pretty much losing money to making it again. It's a little bit of a journey, this game, because things that used to make you money sometimes get superseded, and you've just got to be very conscious about that when you're making changes throughout the entire system and what have you. So it's always good to keep reviewing it, trying to reduce how much we spend, and trying to make some money as things go around. This one, not so much, so maybe we do need to keep an eye on those tank cars. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I hope that you have too. Let me know in the comments or with your thumbs, and until next time, have a goodbye.